Hello Wildman, the Invisible Cup was a tournament in the Populous The Beginning community, noted for its highest ever prize pool in Populous The Beginning of potentially $1,000+. And it's also unique in the sense that it takes its concept from the Hidden Cup of Age of Empires 2, where everyone's identities are actually hidden. Now, I wasn't sure about signing up to this initially because I wasn't really sold on the maps. I'm still not sold on the maps that were chosen, but I thought in the end, why not? Let's just sign up, see how I can do. Well, the brackets wise, you can see it here. There are two rounds, quarterfinals, semi-finals, finals. 25 participants, so quite a few people already had a buy through to the second round because obviously you need 16 or 32 to get a tournament underway with the equal amount of games. But like I said, I thought I would try and do well in this tournament. I would try and play a bit more online Populous at the beginning, just to try and get some game time in and see how well I could do. And here is my Invisible Cup journey. So I did play in round 1, and I got to pick Dead Sea as my home map. The map bands were 4 Walls and Cess Palace. Now, Dead Sea I picked, you know, I like playing Dead Sea. It's more troop heavy. I don't have to rely on my shaman as much, because that's one thing that I lack, or I've lacked over the past 8 to 10 years that I've lost. My shaman skills are pretty horrific, but Dead Sea, it's not as important. It's mostly about building and getting troops out really quickly. So after doing a bit of converting, I realised that Red wasn't actually playing Dead Sea as people normally play it. He was still in his main base area, and it was quite apparent to me that this player probably wasn't a good player, and it was going to be a quick win. I focused on building around the map, just getting some troops into his base, taking in the lead, and at this point, the game was pretty much already over. He had no warriors. He built a fire warrior hut down in his base. A land bridge there just to rub it in so he couldn't get up as easily, and he's got all these braves standing there as well, so this match was over in a few minutes. This is a best of 3, so I just needed to win one more. This was Face Off, my opponent's first choice. Not a big fan of this map, especially with this version as well. The base I'm in is superior to the other base. You get to the hill much quicker where all the wildmen are. You can get an early advantage, and if you get all this wildmen, you can just go and rush the enemy because you'll have a higher population. Of course, again, it was apparent that Red was not an experienced player. He hadn't even moved to the hill to get converts. He was just building with these initial braves. So it was at this point I decided, let's just send all my men in and get this over with. Not really the most challenging of tournament matches. Didn't really give me much room for improvement. Didn't really get to reflect on much. It was pretty much over straight away. Well, yeah, let's move on to round 2. So round 2, I'm up against Brave, and again, I get to play my home map, Dead Sea. I believe the map bans were 4 Walls, again banned by me. And I think Cess Near Palace was also banned. So I'm feeling pretty confident going into this. I've been prepping Dead Sea quite a bit, especially in the 2v2. I know in the beta tournament I did 1v1 Dead Sea as well, but I didn't do any prep. And the biggest thing for this map when it's a 1v1 is just the sheer amount of converting. And I realised if your shaman gets up there quickly, heads over to the middle, you can actually convert all the unused bases of green and what would be red. So there we are, getting the converts off nice and quick. And I think my opponent didn't do this. So as you can see, I'm going straight for the wildmen that are in the other base, even converting the opponent's base as well, just getting the really quick converts up. Started quickly getting 10 warriors out, just flooding them over the map. Yellow here had warriors to defend with, but didn't have the numbers in total. It was crippling his production. And if we check the graph here, you can actually see that his convert was not solid. And again, this map is all about getting a really good convert at the start on this 4-player map, 1v1. People think it's quite unfair, yellow versus blue base, but if you're not even going to attempt to get the wildman on the map, you're going to lose straight away. And this is sort of how the game went. Started praying at the Earthquake Stone Head, started charging Earthquake because I realised Yellow was actually building his huts really close together, which it makes Earthquake very powerful, especially where his warrior hut is there. I get an Earthquake charged up right quick, I get my second Earthquake from the Stone Head, and it's a case of just continuing the pressure. Yeah, the game's pretty much over here. I realised there was still lots of wildmen left on the map as well, so I thought I'd go and convert them as my last thing to do to prevent him coming back at all, but it was really over by this point anyway. So the second game was on Yggdrasil 1v1. It was my opponent's choice, so I chose the normal yellow base, which in my opinion is far superior. You get the better initial convert that you can steal from this strip here. You also have your reincarnation site at the front of your base, which makes it very difficult already to get in an attack because your shaman can respawn right as they're attacking and immediately get the kill, whereas in the other base you have to walk across your entire base to defend. My plan here was to just be really aggressive. As you can see, I'm building a forward tower quite quick, getting the converts from his middle strip, and then heading back to get my own. My idea was to get a lightning, rush straight into his base, should he have no defense, which I realized I was getting a tower up nice and quick there. I could probably stop his fire warriors getting into his towers. I wasn't bothered about how I placed my plans, to be honest. I wanted my fire warrior hut up really quickly. I know if you put your fire warrior hut in the normal place, a wildman sometimes stops it, so I wanted my fire warrior really quickly. I also wanted a warrior hut as well to maintain the pressure. So I'm at a 41 convert. I've got my fire warriors ready. I've got one in the tower at the front. My opponent's not got his base up. He's actually losing a fire warrior to that tower, which is a big mistake. I'm going to push forward with my shaman now to see if I can do anything to maybe get into his base and disable his fire warrior hut. Another fire warrior here that I can pick off. Yeah, they're not paying attention. So we can see he's still not got any defense here, so I'm thinking this is my time to get in. If I can kill the shaman, I can pretty much get this over with, but fortunately for him, his shaman actually blasts my shaman into the water. So now it's a case of just getting the game started, and my building was pretty atrocious, but again, I was trying to be really quick. I knew I still had wildmen in my base to convert. Yellow with a couple of warriors on the front, but I've still got my convert here, which takes me to 50, maybe 55 or so. Got a lightning in the chamber, and I've got an earthquake to start charging. Thankfully, I still have a lot of map control thanks to that forward tower that I didn't make. As you can see, there was still some wildmen on the map, and I'm just trying to play this really quickly. Got my warriors taking out this hut. See the shaman trying to line this up perfectly. And I managed to get the perfect kill there, tower and the shaman combined. I wanted to try and put some pressure on here. You can see he's sending warriors down the front, but they won't do too much, so he pulls them back, coming to defend my warriors. Unfortunately, I don't have any ghosts or anything quite so soon, so this attack turns out to be pretty futile, but I do kill a few braves, and that's one thing that you do notice, that his population keeps getting dented by my attacks. He keeps trying to rebuild his buildings, and I just keep killing the braves. I've got warriors in my front hut, so I'm just trying to dismantle a bit and just get my population up. We're only still at 58. It takes a while to get things going, especially when you play a bit more aggressively. You need to fill my towers, maybe train a few more fire warriors, but as you can see, his defense isn't exactly intimidating, so we just throw an earthquake in here for good measure. So my warriors at the front now. I've actually killed any semblance of reinforcements that he had. He's got a couple of fires on the hill there, but they're not in a tower, so another earthquake just pushes even deeper into his base, and he's losing a lot of population here. I send my warriors back to go and deal with those warriors in the mid-strip, and managed to get a nice trade here to prevent him from attacking me in retaliation without my shaman being alive. So I get to attack again, and there was just this. It's again. There's no defense. It's just he actually blasts me up, but I'd already clicked the earthquake on that hut. It would have been nice if I could have earthquaked his warrior hut, but he blasted me after I'd already clicked it, or I didn't react quick enough. Yeah, they're trying to make a counterattack now. I'm just trying to fill these towers up nice and quickly. But he runs back, which is a sign to me that he does not actually have anything yet, and I can continue trying to get my base built. So I'm not a big fan of continuously pushing the front here. I've got my shaman marked and ready in the center to do some sort of side order. Take out some huts, because attacking the huts is the biggest thing, just to prevent their population growth. And you can see he's gonna start building down the side strip there, so I'm gonna land bridge across. Now my goal here is to just earthquake the trees, because there are a lot of wood there. I was hoping the earthquake would do a lot of damage to the trees as well as the huts, and it does kill population. Yellow gets an earthquake off after lightning my shaman. I've got a couple of warriors coming around the side to try and kill some more braves. The earthquake damaged my defense. We've got warriors in the middle just waiting to do something. Just fill them in huts for the time being to get the bar up on those huts and keep them disguised and hidden. 16 warriors just waiting for the right moment. So yellow's actually pushing down my center now, so I was waiting here for him to push deeper in, and once he does get a bit deeper, I send in my warriors and we try to do a bit more damage at the heart of his base. Lots of warriors here. Swarm for the towers. I know his shamans come along, so I try and ghost to push him back. Again, even if I don't do too much here, I do manage to kill lots of his men with my warriors, lowering his population even more. I could have probably got deeper here, but I was just wanted to get my earthquakes off, and my shaman sinks, but that's fine. At this point, I'm aware I am quite far ahead. It's just a case of just maintaining the pressure. Tornado in the center. His warriors keep coming down the front, but there's not enough of them to do too much. I've got my own fire arrows there to soften the blows. Yellow here, earthquake in my front, but that's pretty much all he can do at the moment. I'm just sort of soaking up the pressure that he can put on me, but I know as I'm still far ahead, I've got nothing to worry about right at this moment, so I'm just trying to get some armor, just expand outwards towards him. So I'm still not letting him build down his side door where he would want to increase his population. I've pushed out with land bridges now. Trying to get his shaman just to get that one blow, but I can't seem to connect the lightnings. I just throw that earthquake off anyway, just to break up his defense even more. Actually kills a lot of those warriors there that were coming to kill my own. Red takes his eye off the ball for a moment, and I notice I can just sneak in around the side here, double check some ghosts just in case there's no fires and huts or anything like that. His shaman's quite far away, so it's just going to be a really devastating blow on his base here, especially with these large huts at the back. Runs his men, so I try and earthquake up the top to kill the men that are running. A few languages there to continue expanding outwards as well, and I'm going to charge lightning because I know now it's time to kill his shaman, get the warriors in, and just clear up the game. More earthquakes into his base, and the GG is called. And if we check the pop graph on this one, you can see he never had a chance. His population was 50 for most of the game. He got to 60, 70 towards the end, but just from the aggression at the start, he couldn't get his population up because I kept killing population. And he wasn't able to get into the game at that point. It was well and truly over. So round 3 now in a best of 5 against Balloon, and I know I'm up against a much better player here. He actually banned my favourite map, Dead Sea, and I banned Cess because I didn't want to have a RNG map ruin the experience. But in hindsight, I probably should have banned this map because I don't really know 4 walls. I know it's quite popular in the community, but I don't know where the spawns are or anything. Yeah, I was going into this with no confidence, and I expected to lose. I was hoping this would just warm me up because I hadn't played any Populous for the entire day, and I was hoping I could just sort of get my fingers warmed up and get ready for the next rounds. So, as I say, I didn't really prepare for this map. I didn't have a game plan. I was sort of on the fly. I was thinking I'm just going to side door with warriors and take out of his second side base because I knew he was ahead of me. He built much faster. But I didn't expect him just to come and side door me like that, which I should have done if I had done some preparation. I had no defense in my base here. My idea is just to earthquake this defense and send some warriors in, but he actually gets in here, takes out my fire warrior huts, and I don't have another one, and it's pretty much game over from there, really. And I just kept in the game just trying to stay warmed up and get rid of any nerves. I did get some warriors into his base, but his population was much higher that he could just train his own troops and counter my own at this point. He had fire warriors all around and warriors in the other section of his base. So this game was over for 30 minutes. Alright, so the second map was his home map, Face Off, which I explained earlier. I am not a fan of this map. I haven't played this properly since mid-2000s, and I don't play it anymore because it's a wholly unfair map. It's all about the middle. My strategy again was similar to what happened in the previous round. I was going to get the Wildmen as quickly as possible and send them into a red space. Obviously this opponent is coming to the middle to fight me this time, so it's not going to be as straightforward. After Red used his blast on me, I knew this was an opportunity for me to send my men in, get them straight in and do some damage as quickly as possible to his Braves. He was trying to build up the normal strategy there. I went straight for Fire Warrior Hood because I knew that if this failed, I can get a Fire Warrior in the middle and secure control. My blasts weren't as good as I hoped, actually. I didn't kill as many Braves as I wanted to, and he managed to kill my Shaman, which is a good play by him. So I knew when my Shaman comes back, I will be able to convert, get my population up a bit more because I didn't get these earlier, and then I can hear Red in the middle. So Red here is trying to get a tower up. I'm on to 14 pop here with some converts. So this tower is very important, but unfortunately the Braves split there, otherwise I'd have got them both. But my goal here, rather than hit his Shaman, I want to kill these Braves. Lowers his population, prevents him getting this tower up. He comes down to try and get my Shaman. I'm not even going to attack his Shaman. I want to try and get the best attack on these Braves. Thankfully he misses these shots, which is a lot of lost mana for him. I have a Fire Warrior ready to push up on the hill when I do get there. Now I know he's just using blasts here. His population can't be much higher than mine, if at all. Get rid of that Brave again. So the Shaman might try and get in this tower. If he gets in the tower, it's pretty much I'm doomed. But I do get the blast off. He blasts me. I managed to survive there, and I just started to sneak around, see if I can go and blast his Braves again. He's got a Fire Warrior up this time, which he hasn't trained any Fire Warriors yet. At this point, I quickly stealthily get a tower up in the middle, send my Fire Warrior up there to secure that, and then the game crashes. So we can actually see here, there wasn't much in it. It's just the start of the game, it's only 4 minutes, but my strategy was to get in there quickly and do lots of damage really early and just get this game over with because I didn't want to play the long game on this map, which would have favoured him. Population was 18 to 12. I do think I had hill control with that tower coming up, but you don't really know. The result was given to me in my favour, which is a bit harsh on him. I felt a bit shit for it, but I did feel like I played my hand, and if it was to rematch, I don't think I would have done as well. Alright, so it's the third game now. It's 1-1, best of 5. It's all tied up, and on this map is a bit like a Creators Hybrid Bifrost. My idea was here to get a nice convert up and try and land bridge over to the sides, get the spells nice and quick, backdoor, and use them spells ASAP rather than let him build his base up. Unfortunately, this game and the following game started to be some serious connection issues with the host, and it became a bit unplayable for me, which you'll see. So I go for the early land bridge here. I know I can build on here as well to expand, get all the trees in the middle, and then get the Firestorm Stonehead. So I've got my land bridge primed and ready to go, and if we check the pop graph, you can see by this point we're pretty much neck and neck. He just started to take off a bit, and that's because he's actually expanding, whereas I'm trying to push out and get some control with the Stoneheads. Try to push in with my shaman there, but end up falling into that water apparently, and the game is jittering along here at the moment. It's making it difficult to move around. So I've got warriors attempting to go through the front, and I've got my backdoor going now. Firestorm's landed on the base, and I've got my warriors coming in, his shamans in a bit of disarray. This is my idea, just to run in here now and do what I can. Once I can't get up here, I end up getting killed by a direct light, and that rewards my initial attack. And my game, you can see it jittering here all the time. This is just something that kept happening continuously. And there it is again. The game just keeps... Every time I go into a shaman battle, this is pretty much how it works. It just puts you off. It's just so... It's so jarring when the game just keeps blipping away like that. Got another Firestorm. Hopefully I can use that to get into his base. I felt like the initial momentum is gone though, and he did have the precious... But my idea was just to kill his shaman and then get in and do something with my warriors. Again, my shaman comes back, and the game's just lagging like crazy. It's jarring. I can't play when like it's just demoralizing, to be honest, guys. When you're trying to play the game, and it just throws you off your rhythm. Every time I'm trying to kill a shaman, the game just keeps lagging. So yeah, at this point I knew the game was over. I'd already been demoralized by not being able to even attempt to kill the enemy shaman, so I just called it quits. So as you can see there, we're in game 3, and you can see the game still continuing to jitter. It just ruins the flow, and I know I'm going to sound like a bit of a moaner, but if we look at the pop graph on this level, we can see for the first 10 minutes, we're pretty much neck and neck in terms of population. So we get to the early game, he's got no defense, I'm trying to get in. The game jittering around there, you can see. Not important at this stage, but certainly off-putting. I also noticed that my opponent is just completely destroying all of his trees, so for the long game as well, if I can play this how I want to, I'll be in better stead. He's just built all of his trees. I've actually been harvesting mine quite well, and again, once we get to the 10-minute mark with 80 or so population, we're neck and neck population-wise, but I do have much better trees, if that makes sense. Get an earthquake on the defense. I know he's got fire warriors in them huts as well. His shaman somehow survived all that as well. But that's it's an okay earthquake. It should help me get in, do some more damage with my second earthquake. As you can see, jitter, jitter, jitter. You can see the lag here. It's just, this is the entire game, guys. And I really went into this tournament feeling like I had a good chance to get deep. I felt like I could beat Red here in this game, but the connection ruined it for me. I felt like my last 2 tournaments I played, the beta tournament, the game was against me, and now this time the connection's against me. Although in the beta tournament I wasn't really practicing or playing much. But I was being a bit more serious about this one because no one had actually guessed who I was here. I kept sending a lot of warriors on this side, but I had my own warriors and kept countering them all the time. The issue with this game is I just couldn't get my shaman in. Every time my shaman got close to getting in, the game would just lag, and it just made it so difficult to play. So I have some big spells here. I know I just need to get in here. I can lighten these towers and get through. Just take out these things. But you can see the game there lagging again, just constantly. Making me click all the wrong shit and just really annoying me. Probably shouldn't have cast the Firestorm, should have earthquaked, but at this point I was just getting frustrated with not being able to play the game smoothly. Shaman's my base here, does a lot of damage. Everything's just going terribly for me. You can see I'm trying to get into the base, but the lag just keeps throwing me off, and I just can't. I'm not used to playing with this, like, that's like an FPS drop or something, but It's not smooth, and you know, when you're used to playing the game smooth and not having to put up with this, he batters my base multiple times, but I do manage to hang on for a bit longer. His trooping really wasn't that great. I just kept denying his warriors to my own warriors. He got me down to 69, but I can start rebuilding now. Just try to get another fire warrior up. At this point, it's just trying to stay in the game and stabilize again. His attacks, he's been using big spells, but hasn't actually done a finishing blow yet, so... And again, the game just freezes as they're about to shoot me. At this point, I'm just so annoyed at the game, and I don't even care. I've already resigned to not win. I feel like I've been hard done by. But not taking anything away from Red. He played well. Destroyed me on 4 walls. I just felt like it could have been a better show. Again, I'm back to 120. His trooping isn't great. He just keeps sending warriors at me. And again, the game's just jittering all over, and I'm just... I apologise for sounding like a broken record, but it's pretty much what cost me the game, and it wasn't enjoyable to play. I didn't enjoy playing. I had fires and huts here, and I was going to get him. But, yeah. Couldn't play the game I wanted to play. Very disappointed. Yeah, he gets in my base, does a killing blow, and there's not really much else I can do from here. Constantly on the defense, you can see the game freezing all over the place there. Best of luck to him. I don't know who's going to win the tournament. It's probably going to be whoever Nisi is, probably Earthquake, because I feel like for a $1,000 tournament, these maps aren't particularly good, and they do favour people who play the game regularly. AKA, the best player in the game Nisi is probably going to win because the restrictions are the same, the maps are the same. Some of them are massive 2v2 variants played as 1v1, such as 4 walls in this hollow fields that we just played, where there's just too much base to start with, I think. Too much base and not enough points of attack, and some inconsistencies in design. I feel like the tournament has been a good success. I feel like it's been well organised by Lovenji. I just think the biggest thing for me is the maps have not been well thought out. Anyway, going out on a whimper, that was my Invisible Cup journey.